Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to begin. Okay, welcome to the OIC-CERT webinar. Okay, my name is Muhammad Shamir Hashim. I'm from the OIC-CERT Permanent Secretariat office. Okay, so before we start, okay, there's one housekeeping announcement that I would like to make. Okay, if you guys have any questions during the presentation or during the sessions, you can please type it into the question box in your YouTube control panel, okay? And we will bring them up during the presentation or sessions, and we will have also the question and answer sessions at the end of every session. Thank you for your cooperation, okay? So we are now bringing in the event, okay? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good day to everybody. Okay, to the Honorable Datuk Zahidi bin Zainal Abidin, Deputy Minister of Communication and Multimedia Malaysia, His Excellency Dr. Adil Rajput, Director of Information Technology, Organisation of the Islamic Cooperation, Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Excellency Engineer Badar Ali Said Al-Salehi, the Chair of the OIC-CERT, and also the Director General of the Oman National CERT, His Excellency General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Panglima Muhammad Azumi Muhammad, Advisor to the OIC-CERT Chair and the Chairman of the Board of Directors for CyberSecurity Malaysia, and His Excellency Datuk Technologist Dr. Haji Amiruddin bin Abdul Wahab, the Chief Executive Officer of CyberSecurity Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are here for the OIC-CERT 12th Annual Conference 2020. CyberSecurity Malaysia, as the OIC-CERT Permanent Secretariat, is hosting this event with the theme Cybersecurity Strategies and Practice During COVID-19 Crisis. The OIC-CERT Annual Conference is a continuous initiative by the OIC-CERT to enhance cybersecurity and raising awareness through international cooperation among the members. This event also offers possible partnerships and collaboration pertaining to cybersecurity to maintain resiliency in the cyberspace. It also provides an information sharing platform on cybersecurity issues, enhancement of members' effectiveness and efficiency through the improvement of the technical and administrative capabilities in incident handling, and a channel to discuss strategic directions and future challenges. This is the pinnacle of the OIC-CERT annual event or annual activities, and for members to meet face-to-face. However, with such traveling restriction for this year, and the show must go on no matter what, we managed to have it online. Thank you to the emerging technology such as the internet and digital connectivity. However, we would like to remind you that these technologies can go both ways. For us, the good guys, we use this to prosper our lives. Then, for the bad guys, they use it for their ill intentions. So, stick around, for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, to learn on how these things can happen and how to mitigate it from our excellent rows of panelists. I think I have said enough as an MC. Let me now hand over this session to our chair. I would like to invite His Excellency Engineer Badar Ali Said Al-Salehi, the Chair of the OIC-CERT, and the Director General of Oman National CERT, to deliver the welcoming remarks. Engineer Badar, the session is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Shamir. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Your Excellency, Honorable Datuk Zahidi bin Zainul Abidin, Deputy Minister of Communication and Multimedia Malaysia, Your Excellency General Tan Sri Muhammad Azumi, the Chairman of CyberSecurity Malaysia, Your Excellency, the representative of the OIC-CERT, Your Excellencies, distinguished speakers, board members of OIC-CERT, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the OIC-CERT members to welcome you all to the OIC-CERT Annual General Conference 2020, where despite the current challenges of the pandemic, we have decided not to miss the opportunity of getting together in a virtual platform to continue the significant mission of OIC-CERT to be the platform to develop cybersecurity capabilities to mitigate cyber threats by leveraging global coordination and collaboration. We are happy that today we have around 200 participants from 33 countries attending this conference with us. This year's conference theme, Cybersecurity Strategies and Practices during COVID-19 crisis theme, is aligned well with the work the world is facing due to the pandemic and has no option but to promote more and further coordination and cooperation amongst member countries of the OIC as well as the rest of the world to be better prepared with cybersecurity readiness. Ladies and gentlemen, though there have been several cybersecurity challenges brought by the pandemic and witnessed new practices of work and businesses, including working from home, faster digital transformation, more online services, new type of businesses and jobs. All of those introduced more cybersecurity risks to organizations, individuals, as well as recent statistics have stated that the threat actor will increase cyber attacks to individuals by 92%. The shift to work from home will also increase the risk of privacy and protection by 87%. Threat actors will take advantage to disturb organizations by 85%. Having said that, on the other hand, there are also several opportunities that were witnessed where we have seen more innovation, creativity, efficiency, timely services offered. Despite the issue, the OIC-CERT, represented by board members, leading the strategic pillars of the business plan, have demonstrated also high commitment to ensure that the business plan initiatives are carried out and completed, a good number of them. As an example of that, the OIC-CERT Cyber Drill this year was very well received and had a total number of 25 teams participated from 24 countries of the OIC member countries. Additionally, a number of cybersecurity awareness and technical training workshops were also conducted this year, and a good number of participants from member countries have benefited from this awareness and training session. Finally, as a lesson learned from the pandemic, certain measures would seriously need to be considered and addressed, including essential organizational defenses, more for protecting not only employees, but also customers, as well as the stakeholders and partners. Home digital security is becoming very critical, where organizations are allowing access to their critical systems for employees from home. Hence, digital home security is something that we need to pay attention for the future, as well as the protection of online services and platforms, where we have witnessed a fast digital transformation for services offered not only by the government but also by the private sector. Finally, organization infrastructure flexibility is a must, where we need to ensure that organizations have their defenses, both for protecting employees as well as protecting their customers, and customers' data is taken care of. I wish you all a great 2 days ahead in this conference, and would like at the end of my welcoming remark to sincerely appreciate the role of the OIC-CERT Secretariat, CyberSecurity Malaysia, and the rest of the team behind organizing this year's virtual conference. I also would like to thank the sponsors of this year's conference, Team Camera and Huawei. Ladies and gentlemen, at this note, I would like to conclude my opening remark. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I would like to conclude my opening remark. Thank you very much.
Thank you, His Excellency Engineer Badar Ali Said Al-Salehi, Chair of the OIC-CERT and also the Director General of the Oman CERT. Now, okay, without further ado, okay, we would like to kindly invite the Honorable Datuk Zahidi bin Zainul Abidin, Deputy Minister of the Communications and Multimedia Malaysia for the opening speech. Dengan hormatnya dipersilakan Datuk.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. His Excellency Dr. Aidil Rajput, Director Information Technology Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Jeddah, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. His Excellency Engineer Badr Ali Said Al-Salahi, Chair Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Computer Emergency Response Team, Director General, Oman National CERT. His Excellency General Tan Sri Datuk Sri Panglima Muhammad Azumi Muhammad Retired, Chairman of Board Director CyberSecurity Malaysia. His Excellency Datuk Technologist Dr. Haji Amiruddin Abdul Wahab, Chief Executive Officer, CyberSecurity Malaysia. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a great honor and privilege for me to address the Organization of Islamic Cooperation Computer Emergency Response Team, OIC-CERT 12th Annual Conference 2020, which is for the first time being held virtually. Previously, the OIC-CERT Annual Conference was held annually since 2009 in a face-to-face format. Permit me on the outset to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of the Government of Malaysia to the OIC, of which Malaysia is a member, for support it consistently and generously provides to the OIC-CERT. Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in a challenging time. In March 2020, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a worldwide pandemic. And the same month, on 18 March 2020, Malaysia implemented the Movement Control Order, or MCO, which is a restriction of movement of people and mass assembly in order to contain the virus from spreading. The COVID-19 pandemic that we are facing right now has changed and will probably change the way we live in the future. Due to the current pandemic, the OIC-CERT has to conduct this annual conference virtually this year. But we are not alone in conducting events such as this. In this manner, there were other conferences that were held virtually recently, such as Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, APEC, series of meetings for 2020 which was hosted by Malaysia, and the 32nd Annual Forum of Incident Response and Security Team, FIRST 2020 from 16 to 18 November 2020. A global organization of which Malaysia is a member. To name just two examples, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic posed various challenges for computer emergency response team and incident response organization around the world, such as the OIC-CERT. As the coronavirus pandemic continues to disrupt our political, economic and social system, we must not forget the threat in cyberspace as we are increasing our reliance on digital tools. These pose a risk as we notice an increase in working from home or remote working activities. As the pandemic spread around the world, our dependence on digital communication and internet increases multiple fold. The same internet that become our medium for work and other social interaction is also facing increasing risks. The internet is indeed a double-edged sword. The public and private sector are increasing emphasis on encouraging work from home policies, and this is not unexpected. For example, the government of Malaysia has made it compulsory for employees of both the public and private sector in the Conditional Movement Control Order, CMCO, and red area to work from home except for critical services. We are becoming more digitally connected and dependent, but are also becoming more vulnerable. Our digital services such as data centers, cloud system and servers that employees use to communicate with become more vital but are also exposed to the risk of cyber attack. The risks involved in the cyber world, as mentioned above, will encourage perpetrators to exploit the potential risk. The risk is increasing and become a more lucrative target for these perpetrators. For example, the statistic of cybersecurity incidents reported by CyberSecurity Malaysia from January to October this year, a total of 9,042 incidents were reported and 6,459, or 71%, involve fraud. These fraud cases involve social engineering attempts. This was followed by intrusion, which recorded 1,101 incidents, or 12% of total incidents reported. This was followed by Malaysia's code, which 502 incident report of 5.5%. Other type of incident reported are intrusion attempts, spam, denial of service, vulnerability support, cyber harassment, and content-related threat. On this issue, I do believe that the OIC-CERT, as a regional computer emergency response team, is in the right track. I am glad to be informed that the OIC-CERT have developed 6 strategic pillars to support strategic initiative to mitigate cyber threat in the region. These strategic pillars are organization structure, international cooperation, standard and regulation, technical and technology capacity building, and awareness. I believe that these holistic pillars will assist OIC-CERT community greatly in the year to come by developing their capabilities facing cyber threat and to be ready for the current and future challenges in the cyber world. Let me elaborate briefly on some of the pillars. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have observed that in the span of 14 years, the OIC-CERT has grown from a modest 7 founding members in 2006. It now currently has 51 members from 27 countries, spanning across the globe, from the Middle East to Africa and Asia. However, the current membership from 27 countries represent only 53%, just half of the total 57 OIC member states that are spread over 4 continents. It is important to note that if we look at the statistic provided by the Internet World Statistic for 2020, we will notice that the estimated number of OIC Internet users is approximately 1 billion, which is a substantial figure, which is about 29% of the estimated total numbers of Internet users, about 4.9 billion across the world. OIC-CERT membership will grant success to the global networking that promotes strategic cooperation and now venture with CERT communities around the world. Membership will also provide opportunity for resources and information sharing. For instance, it will provide a platform for resources collaboration in research and development in the area of cybersecurity membership to the OIC-CERT. Will also assistance to members in establishing CERT by providing technical expertise and policy advice. From the birth point of view, I would like to encourage other OIC members who are not yet a member of the OIC-CERT to join the OIC-CERT. I would like also to urge other members of the OIC-CERT to support and assist in the OIC-CERT membership drive in order to safeguard and protect our common interests in view of challenges faced by the Islamic world and the international community in the borderless cyber world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, for the next 2 days, we will hear 4 sessions from the management and technical domain that will provide us insight into the security strategies and practices during the COVID-19 crisis. As per our theme of our conference this year, I hope that this conference will be beneficial to every participant attending. I wish to reiterate my deepest appreciation to the program committee for affording me this opportunity to convey these ideas at this year's annual conference. On that note, I would like to thank all organizations and individuals for your hard work and valuable time in making this OIC-CERT annual conference a reality this year. Thank you to all delegates and speakers for their time and expertise. Thank you so much for participating. Have a fruitful conference and stay safe. May Allah grant us assistance and guidance. Thank you. Buya?
Thank you, Honorable Datuk Zahidi bin Zainal Abidin, for the opening speech. Today we are going to have 2 moderated sessions. Okay. So we will now start with the first session. The COVID-19 pandemic is likely affecting every organization, no matter how well prepared and resilient they may be. This following session discusses on the current challenges from the management's perspective and outlining strategies to keep the organization running without compromising resilient security. This is a moderated session titled "Is Cybersecurity COVID-19 Resistant?" And our moderator is my good friend, Dr. Engineer Muhammad Salman from the National Cyber and Crypto Agency Indonesia, okay, who will be moderating this session. Dr. Salman is currently a lecturer and researcher at the Computer Engineering Faculty of Engineering, University of Indonesia, focusing on the field of network and information security. Dr. Muhammad Salman holds a PhD in Information Network Security from University of Indonesia and master's degree in Information Technology from Monash University, Melbourne, Australia. He was also a former board member of the Indonesia Security Incident Response Team on Internet Infrastructure, okay, our IDCIRT, and now he is involved as a board member of the Indonesia government's CERT under the National CyberSecurity Agency, National and Crypto Agency. With that, okay, I would like to welcome Dr. Muhammad Salman. And Dr. Muhammad Salman, the session is yours.
Pak Salman berprosit. Pak Salman boleh proceed.
Okay, just
Pak Salman.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's great to see all of you, even though currently we are still in difficult situation during this pandemic. Alhamdulillah, we are still have this great opportunity to meet together on this first time online annual OIC-CERT conference in 2020. So Alhamdulillah, most of the speakers and participants are joining from so many different places, different countries, and also with different time zone. Mostly are accessing from home, I think, and probably some from their offices as well. Firstly, I would like to thank and really appreciate to our distinguished speakers for joining this conference to share their knowledge, expertise, and experience. Let me give a brief introductions of our speakers today. The first speaker is Mr. Koldas Serik Aisarinuli from National Coordination Center for Information Security, Kazakhstan. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us today. Koldas Serik Aisarinuli is a director of the National Information Security Coordination Center, JSB, State Technical Service, the Republic of Kazakhstan. And the second speaker is Mr. Alexander Kalinin from CERT GIB. Since he is in Moscow now, so I would like to say good morning. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining us. So Alexander Kalinin is head of the CERT team at Group IB, or we could say Group IB's Computer Emergency Response Team for almost 10 years. CERT GIB is the one of the very active CERT organizations at the moment, and being the first such team in Eastern Europe and providing round-the-clock assistance. So the last speaker, our third speaker, is my old friend, Mr. Adli Wahid from APNIC, Asia Pacific Network Information Center, based in Brisbane. Nice to see you again, Pak Adli. Thanks for joining us. Adli Wahid is a security specialist at APNIC. He is responsible for the security engagement and outreach program, has more than 10 years of experience with the security response community. I think some of you might be familiar with him because Adli had also served as the board member of the Forum of Incident Response and Security Teams, or FIRST, from 2014 until 2019. Okay, that's our short introductions of the speakers. Now let's start our sessions with the topic, is cybersecurity COVID-19 resistant? So we have seen that COVID-19 pandemic is likely affecting every organizations, no matter how well prepared and resilient they may be. This session discusses on the current challenges from the security management's perspective and outlining strategies to keep the organization running without compromising resilience or security. So I will give the speaker the opportunity to deliver a short presentations around 10 to 15 minutes. And then after all the speakers presented, we will follow with question and answers. So for the audience, please use the chat box to type the questions. Okay, so let's start with the first speaker, Mr. Koldas Serik Aisarinuli. So you may share your presentation slide. Okay, I think the slides already. Yes.
Hello, dear colleagues. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, but it is in presentation mode. Probably you can change it to full screen. Or it's good for me. The same.
It's okay, yeah?
It's the same. We see your notes and the second slides.
Oh, sorry.
Switch the presentation view. At the top of your menu, in the middle, I think.
I'm sorry, my colleagues. Give me please 1 minute, few minutes. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I think you may do the slideshow.
I'm sorry. Is it clear, colleagues?
Okay, that's great.
Sorry.
So we can see.
Good afternoon, dear members of this conference. Today, report is devoted to the topic digital cybercrime and fraud in the Republic of Kazakhstan for 2020. My name is Kollasek, and I'm the director of National Coordination Center for Information Security. On January 31, 2017, in order to combat cybercrime, the first president of the Republic of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, in the annual message to the nation, instructed the government to create a concept cyber shield of Kazakhstan. The concept of cyber shield of Kazakhstan is a set of measures that are aimed to supporting the information security of network users and the Kazakhstan segment of the internet in general. The realization of the concept enabled Kazakhstan's rating in the field of information security rose from 32 to 40 on the international stage, according to the report of the International Telecommunication Union. Being a structural subdivision of the National Coordination Center for Information Security, State Technical Service, CERT carries out activities in response to computer incidents of the Kazakhstan segment of the internet, providing information collection and analysis, as well as consultative and technical assistance to users in prevention of cyber threats. CERT carries out its activities with more than 30 qualified information security specialists. The areas of responsibility of CERT include the monitoring of more than 146,000 domain names of the Kazakhstan segment of internet.kz and .kaz. In the case of detection of information security incident, CERT formulates recommendation to eliminate an information security incident, advises users of Kazakhstan segment of internet on IS incident response, notifies of own hosting provider and the CERT of other countries having an attitude to the information security incident within the framework of international cooperation. CERT is working to strengthen a partnership with international organizations and foreign CERT and CERT in order to ensure the efficiency of processing information security incidents. CERT is included in the list of national response teams of the Coordination Center. It is CERT also a member of the first listed member in the TEF CERT, a member of organization of OIC-CERT, a member of APWG, also a liaison member of AppCERT, and so on. In 10 months of this year, CERT processed 15,143 information security incidents such as botnets, lack of access to internet resources, creation and the distribution of malware, unauthorized access and the modification of the content of an internet resource, DOS and DDoS attacks, phishing, fraud, and others. It is worth noting that in this year, there was an increase in DOS and DDoS attacks on the private sector and the quasi-public sector of Republic of Kazakhstan. A large number of attacks were recorded during the COVID-19 pandemic. The increase in the number of incidents in this year is due to the transfer of educational institutions, government services, banking operation to online operational mode. Phishing also became the trend of this year's cyber attacks. This is related to the transfer to online operational mode of such fields as financial, educational, trade, and state. Let's consider an analysis of the main vectors of attacks on Republic of Kazakhstan. A number of fraudulent incident research have been identified from the non-existent virus research association directed at CIS countries. After the pathing authority, the user is asked to make a fixed payment of 348 rubles on a third-party internet resource. 45 phishing internet resources have been identified where forms for collection credit card probes. A number of fraudulent internet resources have also been further identified where a user is offered a reward for providing access to his computer and its computer capacity. After downloading the program, the user does not receive a reward, only malware or spyware is installed. Related to COVID-19 detected, it is 11 internet resources related to coronavirus theme, 5 mobile apps for Android, 5 files for Windows operation system. While loading them, there was a strong possibility of infections to mobile devices and workstation. The slide shows malware applications for the Android operating system. We recommended not allowing the application data. We also recommended blacklist addresses on routers and perimeter security equipment. When we proceed these links, the malware is downloaded. Fraudsters come up with the most unexpected ways to steal confidential data and money. It is therefore important to remain vigilant even when placing an advertisement for the sale of things on free ad sites. For financial irregulation, fraudsters use one-day websites disguised as existing services. Their then removed without trace. The fraud team was also follows fraudster response to advertisement. He offers a cash-free payment request delivery. He sends a link to the twin site to settle with the seller. The seller enters his data, and the fraudster steals money. Result: the money received is divided between an intruder and a scammer. A fraudulent scene may be reused if victim wishes to return the money spent. How to protect yourself from malware? First one, use a firewall and don't ignore its warnings. Do not open suspicious email or attachment in social networks. Do not follow the provocation ads that promise big warning after downloading and installing something. Do not download attachment to a mail message from unknown senders. And the last one, use antivirus products with constantly update databases. The screen contains contact information. Based on this contact, you can send offers for cooperation on IS, threats, and incidents. Thank you for your attention, colleagues. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sarik, for sharing the interesting experience in Kazakhstan. Very hard work, yeah, because of the rising numbers of threat during the pandemic and so on. So we would like to go to the next speakers, Mr. Alexander Kalinin. Please share your presentation.
Oh, I see. A second.
Okay.
I have many screens, so I think it's pretty hard for GoToWebinar to choose the right one.
Yeah, it's already appears in the display. Okay, that's good. Ready?
Yeah, you see the whole screen?
Yes, already full screen. The slideshow is already.
Yeah, it's okay. Super.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, we can start then. Okay, my name is Alexander Kalin. I'm the head of our incident response team in Group IB company. We were formed in Moscow. Last year, we changed our headquarters to Singapore. And this year, we have opened our new office in Amsterdam. So if you want to meet us, please use these 3 countries. But we have several smaller offices around the world, but this is the main. I think it's like a basic forecast from us for the first quarter of next year. It will increase this part of fraudster activities like APT, insiders attacks, social engineering, ransomware, espionage, and frauds. And I don't have enough time, of course, for explain all parts of this slide. So I will show you like the most interesting examples for me from this year. Let's start from pandemic accessories. When all these pandemic issues were started, get an email to our response at group at cert-gib.ru email with like buy some mask or different antivirus like antibacterial, so antivirus stuff. But inside it, of course, was a link with a captcha inside, which we click rightly. And inside this was a pretty interesting site, which can choose language depending on what country you open it. For Russians, it will be in Russian. For US, it will be in English. For Arabic countries, it will be on Arabic language. Inside it's a pretty usual phishing site for stolen bank accounts. With help of our graph, we opened the whole scheme of this fraud scheme and add all these sites to our blacklists, but it's another story. All our clients, without any excludes, received many malware depending with some COVID inside this. It depends on the attack, but it was a malware, it was a fraud, it was some brand abuse sometimes. Here you can see free mask for some China company in our clients. It was a credential stealer inside this in the attachment. This case was for Korean customers with the same. No, it's not the same. It was Loki PWS malware inside this. Canada, the same malware, but another email. And at the beginning of the pandemic, wait a second, I want to. Yeah, it's much better. At the beginning of the pandemic, many trips were canceled, and even I myself was really looking forward to a refund from one hotel, since I had no opportunity to fly to this country. And I was really looking forward to a letter with some instruction how to do this. And the scammers also did not wait long and made their own mailings with the phishing inside. I didn't get that, but our clients do this in large numbers. Here is just an example of such fraud sites. It's, of course, was not only for Airbnb and Booking, it was for every company which connected with tourism. The same story as Mr. Sayek said previously, we call it mammoth hunting. Scammers in Russia call mammoth people who are very easy to deceive, so-called suggestible people. And we have such a stable expression like suggestible people are not mammoths, they will not die out. So that's why mammoths. Once again, briefly about the scheme, because it's really popular in CIS countries, and it will spread to other countries outside our CIS countries. So probably you will see this in your regions too. So ordinary people stay at home, sometimes without work and money. Websites with advertisements for the sale and the purchase of used items, basically, are becoming more popular, like eBay and so on, but in CIS countries, as are the scammers is in them. Now, in all the countries of the former CIS, not former CIS, and even wider, there is a whole partner network that allows any school child to buy access to a system where phishing sites were already been created, where you can work as an operator on the phone and deceive people online, use internal billing system, and then receive money for deceiving practically in real time. Sometimes the same victims are deceived twice, and it's a very interesting case for me every time. Basically, the scheme works as a stage of delivery of the purchased goods, but when the victim is given a link to confirm and pay for delivery, a phishing link, of course, will be inside. SDEC is shown here. It's like an analog of DHL or FedEx in other countries, but we now see copies of all our popular delivery methods, and there are a lot of them. You can find more details on our website, or probably Serek has the same too. For me, it's a very interesting story that is not over yet, with many threat actors inside. During current time, we saw many new schemes, we all host webinars and often trust software too much to host them. For so long, we wrote about fraudulent Zoom scheme. You receive a legitimate link with from the Zoom service with an invitation to the webinar, but the link there leads to a fraudulent site, which the bad person, threat actor, inserted at his last name in the invitation. You can try this after this webinar. A very simple and effective scheme, still active actually. Of course, all the people who stay at home use different online services like Netflix and so on. And for every of them, we have a phishing example. Sometimes several hundreds of them per month. Like in this case for Netflix. Everybody saw who newsletters, it's workhouse organizations. I paste just several examples, but it is still active. I don't know why actually, because it's very old for this year scheme. There was Loki PWS and NetWire on these cases on the slide. For every company in every region, we saw the same scheme. It's for Société Générale. It's like a financial company. Yes. Myers, it's a company who helps to move different things through the countries. And we saw so many examples that created like top lists of malware inside this. It was Agent Tesla in our regions. NetWire was the second, and LokiBot the third. If you want to check this research, you can find this on our website. Pretty small and medium business, which happened with our actually friend. It's a not so small, not so big company, but it's pretty well protected from some sites. But from another, it's not, because when they transfer their employees to remote work, they realized that their FTP server wasn't updated on time, and many bad guys who sit at home too penetrate their network. Through domain administrators, they installed a standard program on employees' PCs, and after this, they encrypt all their network. Even their confused code was infected for following attacks. They created a backdoor inside this. It was very unpredictable from their side. These bad guys asked for 10 bitcoins for decrypt all encrypted files. It's about $180,000 now. Pretty big money for this company, but everything will finish good for this company. But be aware that you need to update all software inside your company. Yeah, this is a basic tips for actually that company, but you can use it for your companies too, of course. We created many documents how to be protected in this area. I will not repeat this for you, for technical specialists, but if some of your friends, your clients, and probably for you too, need this, you can download it from OIC-CERT website in awareness part of it. We share our documents there too. Yeah, I think that's all. And the next presenter can speak now.
Okay. Thank you, Alex, for your interesting sharing. Yes. So you also share about how important it is to conduct the digital hygiene, especially during this pandemic, with the rising number of threats, scam, anything, malware and fraud and so on. And this is a very good and very important things to raising the awareness from the users as well. Okay, so we would like to go to the next speakers. The last one, Mr. Adli Wahid. Yes, so please share your screen.
All right, give me 1 second.
You find the menu?
Yes, looking for it.
It was like a pop-up on my screen.
There's a pop-up somewhere. Okay. Wait a minute. Can you see anything or?
Not now.
Currently, not yet.
Okay, 1 sec. Okay. Sharing.
Any help from host?
Yeah. I'm still not able to share. Okay.
But you can see the menu where you can choose the screens, yes?
Yeah. Okay, I can see that. I can say share my screen. Oops. Okay, can we try one more time? I thought I clicked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Just switch the, yes.
Yep, okay.
That's great.
Apologies.
Okay.
Yeah, apologies, everybody. Yeah. Thank you, Pak Salman, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. And I'm pleased to be part of this amazing panel of speakers. My plan today is to complement the message that has been delivered and shared by both Alex and Serik. I want to touch a bit more on the cyber resilience, but more on the cultural side of things. And what do I mean by that? So if you are familiar with many cybersecurity strategies, you will find the word R, resilience, used a lot. And the idea there is that, ultimately, despite our preparedness, despite our effort to make sure that we are safe and secure, things will go wrong. But the idea is not to prevent mistake 100% of time, but to be able to recover from mistakes, from challenges, from a disaster, from calamities. And I thought the word resilience is very interesting because this is very human nature. I think we are all hardwired internally to deal with any kind of problems, big or small, including COVID-19. So I think the human race will prevail regardless of the situation, which makes the discussion of resilience very interesting. Now today, Mr. Salman mentioned I represent APNIC, but also I'm wearing the first hat because the CEO from first, he is unable to participate. So he asked if I could do it. And because I'm in the same time zone, more or less, I wanted to be part of it. One of the key signs that we are doing kind of okay, I think, in dealing with things like COVID-19, for instance, is this sharing that you just witnessed from Ceric and Alex. You can see all the technical details of incident that they experienced. And Ceric and Alex mentioned many times, we saw it here, it may come your way. If you need any information, any help, reach out to us. Don't wait until it happens. And similarly, I think when it comes to the cybersecurity community, especially the IR community, the community is there. You can see that there is 943 teams in 95 countries, not all countries yet, but still, the amount of knowledge and experience within this community in dealing with day-to-day attacks and threats is immense. And I think if you haven't really plugged into the security community ecosystem for getting information, for learning from one another, then you should be doing it right now or have plans to do it. So when it comes to resilience, though, and in cybersecurity especially, I think it is both art and science. Cybersecurity being very technical, of course, we have a lot of technical solutions for all kinds of things, right? From the AV, from the detection, from understanding the techniques, threats, procedures, but there's also the art aspect to it, the soft skills, the non-tech aspect of it, and of course, anything dealing with human sometimes will make things not so easy. And it is very good that we say, okay, we want to be resilient in everything that we do as the ultimate goal. But sometimes I feel that people lack the abilities to kind of measure this, right? So on paper, yes, we want to recover. We have done some drills, but in reality, will you be able to recover from an incident? If yes, how fast? And what skills do you have? What skills don't you have? And things like that. But I think bottom line is when we talk about resilience, it's the ability to adapt to change very quickly. And many cybersecurity incidents tend to change the landscape of an organization, how they operate very quickly, and therefore you have to kind of adapt fairly quickly. There's also this element of assessing the risk all the time, which means that at the end of the day, the business must continue, right? Maybe we don't use technical means to deliver our service, but we have backup plans. We can go back on paper and still serve the community, still serve the customers, and so on and so forth. So business continuity is probably one of the thing that we have to kind of think about when you think about being resilient. And last but not least is the capabilities. Can we actually do it, right? So then it goes back to the human. And when we had COVID and all that, there were a lot of issues affecting the humans, which also, you see the virus infecting security analysts, the human engineers, and so on and so forth. I'll talk more about that later on. This picture that I have here is probably a nightmare for many, network engineers. Lots of cables not being connected properly, but this is actually a working IXP, right? Sometimes we say in sport that it doesn't matter how you win, right? You just need to win. Moving on, I think specifically, I would like to bring in some examples that we see from the Asia-Pacific region, especially because that's where I'm based, but also in my interaction with many folks, IT administrators, as well as security people. When it comes to COVID-19, one of the trends that we see was, people had to be forced to work from home. Suddenly it's possible, right? You have to work from home. And this is very interesting from the security standpoint because you kind of lose the availability to observe what was previously maintained within an enterprise. You had a perimeter that you can define, but now everybody is working from home, which is still fine, right? But still, I think a lot of people weren't really prepared for that. So there was a moment where people lost observability, which is very important in doing detection, in doing response, in doing threat hunting, and so on and so forth. I heard a lot of conversation on basic stuff. Is there any VPN that you recommend? And somebody will say, we use this VPN. And someone will say, that's very expensive. Is there anything cheap? Because we haven't budgeted for this. This is an emergency, right? So things like that. And if you can imagine someone who had to deploy this overnight, what kind of knowledge and skills do they need to acquire so that they are able to deploy this securely. And I'm not talking just VPN, but also maybe, deploying an IDS, an EDR, or logging and things like that. So people sort of have to change mode fairly quickly and adapt to the reality so that they don't expose the organization. There was also an aspect of endpoint protection. So I'm bringing my machine, which was very secure in a secure environment at the office, but now I'm bringing them home. And at home, I have these two devices. I remember Cedric mentioning this, attacks targeting routers, VPNs, ADSL modems, right? And this is at home. God knows when was the last time it was patched. And to a lot of people, they don't even know that it could be patched in the first place. So you're bringing a secure device in an unsecure environment, right? And if you had not really think about that in the past, then that's a lot of things to consume and process and do within a very short span of time. Working from home also broke a lot of other security controls that people have in place, like backups, right? Because normally I'll bring my laptop to the office, or I have it there. The backup is basically there as well. It's automated, but now I'm from home. Bandwidth issues, a bunch of other issues, and you're not doing any backup. So threats such as ransomware and other things that was earlier mentioned as well suddenly becomes, a big deal, because now we have to defend folks in the, outside the perimeter. And last but not least, we know as security practitioners the importance of multi-factor authentication. In fact, a lot of people use this. But if you look at many enterprises, many folks do this for social media and not for the enterprise infrastructure itself. So a lot of people were not ready for this, and they were in a dilemma: should we expose our assets on the internet? Because if not, then we cannot do the business. If yes, we don't have this enabled, we need to search, we need to invest money. So people were caught in a situation. Anyhow, hopefully that was a lot of lessons learned for people, so that they can move on and maybe do some improvements. But I think the other important aspect of this COVID-19 that we see from the security standpoint is also on the human side, because all of this security that we do is powered by people like Alex and Cedric. They're human. They have two hands. Do you have two hands, Alex? Yes, two hands there. And they get infected. They can get infected by the virus. A lot of people have assumptions how security will work within the organization, but sometimes they don't think the bit what if our security guys get sick, right? And the question there is not to prevent the security guys from getting sick. Yes, that's very important. But also, if we had to resume the duties of the security folks, are the knowledge accessible and available? If yes, where are they? Can non-tech people resume their operation? So I think this would be something very interesting when we do incident response or incident handling. The last thing that I want to add here is, people said automation can help. I think so, but maybe not in all the case. So we had to kind of see and test if automation really works for doing security. And last but not least, I think when we talk about COVID, Alex and Cedric mentioned a lot of good examples of fraud, attackers basically exploiting the situation, but also at the same time, security people have a lot of access to a lot of sensitive and critical information. And I think this is a good segue for me to mention an initiative by FIRST called Ethics First. And this is to highlight the importance of the human doing security, to be trustworthy, to respect human rights, to be responsible, to have authorities, to share knowledge, right, to respect cultures, law, and so on and so forth. I don't have the time to discuss all of that, but I highly encourage all of you to have a look at that, because I think it's an important conversation to have, amongst us, and especially when we do with security. So to wrap up my presentation, no magic formula here. I think we have heard it all. People, process, technology. But I would like to emphasis on measuring things. If you think you have that capabilities, do you really have that capabilities? Have some numbers, share the knowledge, get in touch with the community. And we want security to be mature everywhere. Some people say, okay, just defend yourself, you'll be fine. But I don't think so, because in a lot of cases, we are dependent on other people's technology. So if they don't do security properly, for example, Zoom or WebEx, right? We are doomed, right? We will be affected by this. So we want everybody to be on the same page, the hospitals, the schools, the government sectors, including your own enterprise. And with that, thank you for the opportunity once again, and hopefully we can have some quick discussion on this topic. Over to you, Pak Salman.
Okay, thank you, Adli, for interesting sharing. So it is a very good lesson learned from us, yeah, especially in how to increase the resilience as well. So because we have a limited time, so we will have around I think less than 10 minutes for question and answers. I will check whether there is some questions from the audience. Okay. Since the audience is raising the questions in the YouTube chat. Okay, it seems that there is no questions in the YouTube. It's really yeah, I think it's not I haven't find any questions in the YouTube, so which means that all your presentation is very clear. Yeah, and again, thank you very much. So I would like to appreciate and thanks to Alex, Serik, and Adli for your sharing, your experience, and also your best practices. So I think it's a good lesson learned, especially during these hard situations. We are facing the COVID-19 virus, while at the same time, we are facing the increasing number of threats. So as you mentioned from all the speakers, it is essential to increase the resilience, improve the capacity of preparedness, as well as the technical knowledge for all CERT team, and as well as the strengthening the collaboration and cooperation within the OIC-CERT members countries and also the global CERT community at large. So again, thank you very much for all the speakers, for your precious sharing. To Alex, Sharik, and Adi. Hope to see you again in the next event. Okay, so I'd like to close this session 1, and we will prepare for the next session, session 2. Thanks again. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We may close our camera, I think. Yeah. So
Well, that's about it for session 1. Would like to thank the participants for this session, which is the moderator, Dr. Muhammad Salman from National Cyber and Crypto Agency Indonesia. The speakers being Serik Aisari Nuli from National Coordination Center of Information Security Kazakhstan. Okay, Mr. Khalinin from CERT GIB, and of Mr. Adli Wahid from FIRST. So we will now want now to move to session 2. However, we will be taking a 10 minutes break to prepare for the next session. So please stay tuned to this channel, and we will be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Team Cymru delivers no-cost threat monitoring to internet service providers and hosting providers who partner with us. ISPs and hosting providers around the world are critical to delivering online access and services. Your role on this planet is not just enabling social interaction and e-commerce. Collectively, you're enabling critical infrastructure and communications necessary for the health, safety, and even the survival of billions. However, many of you may lack the tools and resources to defend your networks. Nimbus Threat Monitor gives you near real-time threat detection, illuminating the compromised assets on your network and those of your clients by correlating your network flows with our world-class IP reputation data. Log in to the completely customizable Kibana interface to see your top alerts. Filter out low priorities. Drill down into specific threats, see your top talkers and what they're talking to, and monitor your alerts over time to measure response efficacy. Saving and improving lives is Team Cymru's mission, and making the internet a safer place is integral to that mission. Our intelligence powers many security vendors' offerings, and Fortune 500 companies rely on our intel. Take advantage of our peer signal threat detection today.
John, good afternoon. We're going to talk about AI and cybersecurity. Before we start, I think AI is a very misunderstood term. What does Huawei understand by the term artificial intelligence in a way that most people would understand?
Well, I think the best way to describe artificial intelligence is we've probably all seen films of robots moving their arms around and building cars. Predominantly, that's not artificial intelligence. That's a robot being programmed to say, move here, move here, move here. Artificial intelligence is where you're getting into the computers using vast amounts of historical data to begin to draw conclusions themselves.
In 2 weeks from now, many thousands of people will converge in Shanghai at Huawei Connect, the annual event. Cybersecurity is one of the key themes and one of the key programs within that agenda. What's the message for the world, and what do you hope to gain from that?
So we believe that, and I believe that technology and security is a team sport. Huawei has a very important role to play. You know, we have to design and build and deploy products that have been built with security and privacy in mind. And we are very happy for our customers and regulators to hold us to account for that. We fear no investigation, we fear no certification, we fear no review. It doesn't mean we're perfect, but it does mean that we're probably the most open and transparent company in the world. So point number one, look what Huawei is doing, hold us to account, and if you think we can improve, tell us how we can improve and we will look to adopt your idea. Secondly, because I've said it's a team sport, our customers and policymakers and governments, you need to look in the mirror yourself and say, what is our role?
John, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.
Hello, we are back. So let's dive into the next session, which is session 2. Okay, for this session, we will see that the way organizations work change rapidly. Threat landscapes change as the workforce went mobile. This session will discuss on the need to balance privacy and security challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. One such issue to be investigated is when governments try to implement trace and track applications to mitigate the spread of the disease. Okay. The moderator for this session is Professor Technologist Dr. Rabia Ahmad of University Technical Malaysia, Malacca. And this session is carrying the title COVID-19 Hardening Security Operation. Professor Technologist Dr. Rabia Ahmad received his Bachelor of Science in Computer Science from University Technology Malaysia, her Masters in Information Security from the Royal Holloway, University of London, and her PhD in Information Studies from University of Sheffield. She is a professor in Information Security since 2015 at the University Technical Malaysia, Melaka, and now is the Dean of Faculty of Information System and Communication Technology at University Technical Malaysia, Melaka. So with that, Professor Dr. Rabia, the session is now yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Shame. Well, I'm happy to being invited as moderator for this session. So let me introduce our speaker. But before that, as everyone know, mentioned by Mr. Shame, this session is going to discuss about the privacy and security, how to sustain our security and privacy during the COVID-19 pandemics. So on such issue is to be looked into when a government try to implement trace and track application to mitigate the separate of the pandemic. So be with us now. We are going. We have 3 speakers, very outstanding speakers. So I would like to introduce to you guys the first speaker, Mr. Giacomo Piccolini from Team Camry. So Mr. Giacomo Piccolini joined Team Camry in 2012 as part of the outreach team and is based in Brazil. Prior to working at Team Camry, he worked at the Brazilian Research and Academic Network at their academic OIC-CERT and act as the academic coordinator for the educational school security and IT governance curriculum. With 21 years of field experience, Giacomo holds a degree in engineering and postgraduate degree in computer science and business administration. He is known globally due to his long-time involvement in FIRST, the Forum for Incident Response and Security Teams. Okay. Our next speaker is Ms. Yukako Uchida from AP-CERT. Yukako Uchida is the manager of Global Coordinations Division at Japan Computer Emergency Response Team Coordination Center, JP-CERT. She is responsible for international collaboration activities with overseas cybersecurity incidents response team CCERT, mainly in Asia Pacific regions. And the third speaker is Dr. Rudy Lumanto, CCERT Indonesia. Let me read for you guys. Rudy Lumanto is the chairman of CCERT Indonesia, Cybersecurity Incidents and Resilience Team of Indonesia, an independent organization that focusing on improving security awareness and resilience by conducting independent cybersecurity research, collaboration, partnership, and capacity. So, well, without further ado, I would like to call Mr. Giacomo Piccolini to discuss on the issue that I have highlighted before. So, Mr. Giacomo, the floor is yours now. I pass to you the screen. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Can you see my slides?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to thank OIC-CERT for the invitation to be here today. Also to CyberSecurity Malaysia for all the work they do for OIC-CERT to schedule the event. So my name is Giacomo. I'm based in Brazil. I'm responsible for the community services that Team Camry provide. And Team Camry is also a member of OIC-CERT and a member of FIRST. So I'm based in Brazil. So if you notice what happened during this pandemic, Brazil was hit very hard by COVID. These numbers here are from last night. So in the last 24 hours, we had around 40,000 new cases reported in Brazil. We are in the 6 million of confirmed official infections. And we also have 168,000 deaths. So a challenge for Brazil was also the size of the country. It's a continental country. We have 210 million people. And the start of COVID infections in Brazil was in the late February, right? So the Brazilian government started with the tracking, using a mobile app, but also, doing the tracing and tracking, of infected people when you go to one of our, health agencies. We do have a public universal health care in Brazil. So you can go, when you are sick, you can go and the government provide you, with access to doctors and exams and even medicine for free, right? So because of the severity of this disease, I was also very concerned about me, my family, and my friends, right? And just to show you, this is from University of São Paulo. They have put together, a heat map about the infections only here around the São Paulo city, right? So you can see it's kind of scary, right? When you are living in a place that you have that high number of infections, right? So this is where I live, right? So here we can go to details, with to the street, to see if on your street you have, people that had to go to the hospital to be hospitalized, or if you had any death related, on your street. So I do have situations around where I live. Even on my apartment building, we had. I live in a building with 12 floors. And we had 2 reported cases in the building. So I took all the advice measures, like using a mask, changing clothes when you go in and out of apartment, changing shoes, and trying wash our hands, doing all the basics that we were told to follow, right? And so the Brazilian government, they publish application on Android and also iPhone, right? To do the tracking, and a very interesting tool. I installed the first day it was made available. Because I was trying to not only see the experience of using the tool, but also to use the tool as a way to protect me and see if I was going to get close to somebody, with coronavirus, right? So you're seeing print screens from my mobile phone. They are in Portuguese. The software runs and shows everything in Portuguese. But it's very interesting. The app here developed by the Brazilian government, using the module, and the data provided by Apple and Google, no, does not connect your phone number or your national ID or your email address to the app. No, the app only generate keys, and generate a new key every 15 minutes, and those keys are used, to connect, with another mobile phone and their keys, to see if when somebody report they are infected, so those keys are the way used, to inform that you had contact with somebody that had or was infected, or infections, in fact. And it was interesting, I was checking my phone activity, as part of my geek, things, and I didn't saw any activity that I was not comfortable with, right? One thing that's very interesting here about the tool, it reminds you, every 2 weeks that you want to continue to use the tool, right? And says also that all the information collected is going to be excluded by the end of the year. So 31 of December this year, the data is going to be excluded. I don't know if they're going to need to renew that, right? And so the second here in the middle of the screen, you can see no exposure detected. So this is when you can go daily, or if you want, and you can click to see if you got into a proximity of somebody that had a mobile phone with the app and infected, by COVID. My only concern that I had is that this is not automatically, right? So imagine that I got infected, so I need to go and do a test, and I have a confirmation that I have COVID, right? Then I need to go to a government website, and the government website is going to generate a token for me, and then I need to go to the app, and I need to enter the token to validate that I am sick, and this information then go to the network, and is going to confirm I'm infected and inform other people. So I just thought this was a little bit, too complex when you are in a situation that, imagine that you are sick. I'm not sure if I was going to go to a government website to get a token, go back to my phone, and enter the token on the app. Maybe I'm in the hospital and I don't have access to my phone, right? But the one thing I want to emphasize is that the tool was very well done, and especially they had a very good source of information about official data, official information, and the tips, how to use a mask, how you do the exam, information about vaccines, information about people that are traveling. And the most useful one for me here was this tab about where you can go to check about fake news, right? So as you can imagine, we had many fake news information going around the WhatsApp groups and Facebook and social media, and this was a good source to go for people to officially know what was correct or a fake news. So this was my initial sharing about my experience that I wanted to share with you guys today.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Giacomo. So I pass to we are going to listen to the second speaker, because we are going to keep all the questions at the end of the session. Is it okay to all speakers? Yeah. So I pass the screen to Ms. Yukako Uchida. Yes, please, madam. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rabia. I'm trying to share my screen right now. Yeah, is this working?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
That's great.
All right. So thank you very much, Rabia, for the introduction. And I would also like to thank OIC-CERT Secretariat for a kind invitation to this event during this difficult time. I'm really privileged to be here as a speaker. My name is Yukako Uchida. I work for JP-CERT Coordination Center, which serve to the AP-CERT as a secretariat. So with permission today, I would like to introduce some of the activities that AP-CERT is doing during this COVID-19 situation. And being in the position where I work for JP-CERT, I would like to share some of the incident examples that I observe, that we observed at the in Japan, as some example that I can share with you today. So here are some of the basic information about AP-CERT to begin with. So AP-CERT was established in 2003, and we currently have 33 operational members, which are the main drivers of AP-CERT, and from the 23 economies in the Asia-Pacific region. And I also would like to mention that between OIC-CERT and AP-CERT, we have an MOU so that we can work together to, for example, perform cooperation when it comes to, for example, cyber drills and then joint events and things like that. I will also touch upon that in the later slides in a few minutes. And here are the current membership that we have in the Asia-Pacific region. We cover 23 economies right now, and lately we just welcomed the CERT PH from the Philippines, and some other members joined during this year as well. So this is quite this community is getting bigger and bigger every year. And of course, currently CyberSecurity Malaysia is playing a role as a chair of the AP-CERT community. So we really appreciate your kind collaboration from CyberSecurity Malaysia as well. And we cover quite wide region, including some of the OIC-CERT members. Like, for example, we have members from Indonesia, we have members from Brunei, and some countries from OIC-CERT as well. So this is a really good venue for collaboration from AP-CERT and also from OIC-CERT as well. And some of the things I would like to introduce to begin with during the COVID-19 situation. Steering committee members actually suggested to conduct an optional survey for members to check the status of the operation during the COVID-19 crisis mode. So these questions include, for example, if any of the members' offices have been closed due to the advice from the government, or like what is the status of the staff working from home and how they're managed. Or like most importantly, if there's any changes in the service that they offer. For example, I understand that some of the CERTs during this time had to kind of limit their services. For example, some of them actually had to turn off the phone call services and switched all the communication to the emails and things like that. So that kind of service changes that we wanted to understand, so we can better cooperate when it comes to the incident that require cross-border assistance. So this questionnaire was conducted among members, of course, optionally, and the answer was shared among AP-CERT members so that they can reach out to members specifically, or like if there's any need to work together among some teams. That was one of the tools to make sure that to make sure and understand how they're operating to the other end. And during this COVID-19 situation, I know that most of the events were canceled or shifted towards the online format. And but our capacity building efforts are still continuing. So AP-CERT conducts online training every 2 months, and we continue this this kind of training during this period as well, thanks to the partners who offered some presentations to the community. So this is an ongoing project among our AP-CERT members. And I'd also like to mention that we participated in some of the external efforts in the capacity building. This is something that I brought from the CERT NZ Twitter. And CERT NZ conducts training, leads training for the Pakistan community, which is in the Asia Pacific region, especially for the Pacific Islands community. And AP-CERT actually provided assistance to this training initiative. So like with CyberSecurity Malaysia or MyCERT's assistance, we provided training to the Pakistan community as well. So this kind of inter-regional collaboration is still there as well from AP-CERT and from other organizations as well. And other activity that we conducted during this period is drill. So AP-CERT usually conducts drill during March time, and this was also conducted this year as well. And OIC-CERT members were invited to this event. And then we had many members participated in this event. I think that's one of the drills that we have conducted with the largest number of members participated. So that was one of the successful events that we conducted during this difficult time. And I also would like to mention about the AP-CERT annual report, which was released in May. So this report actually compiles reports from activities and reports from all AP-CERT operational members. And you can dig into some of the specific countries report if you're interested. This is a quite good document to understand the whole threat landscape and activities overview from the AP-CERT members. So hope you find it useful. You can find it on the AP-CERT website. And also, as a first trial, AP-CERT conducted online AGM in September, and this was the first time that we conducted a online AGM in our history. So the conference was originally planned in Colombo, Sri Lanka. However, we just planned to do it online this year, but this was successful. Also thanks to the assistance from our chair of CyberSecurity Malaysia, and we have quite many members participating in this session as well. So this was a quick introduction of AP-CERT, and especially focusing on the collaboration between AP-CERT and OIC-CERT as an inter-regional collaboration. And here I would like to introduce some of the examples from Japan, as just taking advantage of the fact that I also work for JP-CERT. So the government of Japan actually created and released the tracking application for Japanese users. And this is something ongoing, but as a CERT perspective, we're not we're not directly involved in the process or distribution and things like that. So I'd like to focus on some of the incidents that we saw in Japan, just to give some hints for incident handling and maybe some of the actions that were taken as a CERT position. So the situation from Japan, actually on the 7th of April this year, the government actually announced a state of emergency due to the spread of COVID-19. And this status actually continued until the 25th of May. So more than a month time, we were under the restriction. And for JP-CERT, actually our management team set a strict restriction on movement of the staff. So basically all staff had to work from home except for some essential staff. And then this situation actually continues until now. So every day, I think more than 70 or 80% of the staff actually work from home. And or except for some of the really essential staff that for example, those who have whose working environment has pretty pretty technical restrictions, or like people who has to pick up the phone and things like that. So they still work from the office, but really limited number of staff go to the office every day. And as I mentioned, in our case, phone calls services are actually disabled. So people can call our office and they can still leave the message and then we will call back. But this is not really, this may take time. So we actually put a notification on our website informing that we will be closing down the phone call for a while, and you can reach out to us by email if you wish to. And other than the fact that the phone calls are disabled, the incident handling and other services that JP-CERT offers remain completely normal. So this was something that we put on the website to make sure that our constituency understands the status, and they are aware of the means how to reach out to us if they're needed. And also for the internal perspective, some of the paperwork and internal procedures that we used to do, we had lots of paperwork actually. However, this was shifted towards the online applications that we use internally. So this was something we went through, and of course when we had this transition, we did really have to do this transition and prepare all the equipment and technical environment so that we can work from home in a very short amount of time. So this was something we've gone through during this situation early in April. And I'd like to introduce some of the incident statistics. So as you can see, the number of the incidents that were reported to JP-CERT have been increasing. And we're seeing some of the increasing trend, for example, in phishing that relates to the COVID-19 situation. And this includes, for example, some of the emails. For example, we saw a lot of Emotet case malware distributed to Japanese users from the late last year. And the attackers actually started to leverage the COVID-19 theme to spread Emotet malware. So this was something we saw earlier this year. And also, as some of the earlier speaker mentioned, we also saw some of the scams related to mass giveaways, and also with regard to the logistics services. So you can see that we saw some SMS delivered to users with some links to the fake site, or like trying to download some fake apps to their environment. And another outstanding thing was actually in April, the government decided to give cash handouts to all the citizens in Japan with the amount of 10,000 yen and 100,000 yen. And this was also used as a theme to attract users in Japan, so that they prepared some fake website where they actually trying to attract the attention of the users, and then maybe trying to steal some information related to their bank and some personal information there. So I'd like to introduce some of the things that JP-CERT did in this situation. So we released a security alert regarding remote working and some threats related to this issue, because I know that we understand that the majority of the people actually had to work from home during this situation. And we saw many of the incidents related to the vulnerable use of VPN products and things like that. So we published alerts in Japanese and English about those risks involved. So these are the quick introduction about the AP-CERT and also some of the case studies from Japan. That's all for my presentation. And back to you, Rabiar.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Yukako. Thank you very much. Very interesting topic, as well as Giacomo before for our first speaker. So both of you, if we notice, and just for the audience, the first speaker is telling us, sharing with us about the applications, and the second speaker about the process, but it's still under tracing and tracking. So now, let us listen to the third speaker, Dr. Rudy Lumanto, how it works in Indonesia. So I pass to you the screen, Doctor. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to share my screen. So, can you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You may start now.
Okay. So greetings, everyone. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon or good morning. It's great to be here in this virtual conference of OIC-CERT. Thank you so much for having me. Let me just start off by saying that I hope you all and your families are well during this extraordinary days, crisis day caused by COVID-19 pandemic. My name is Rudy Lumanto. I'm from CERT ID, CyberSecurity Independent Resilient Team of Indonesia. This is community-based CERT that focusing on improving security awareness and resilience by conducting independent cybersecurity research, collaboration, partnership, and capacity building. Before with CERT ID, I was the chairman of IDCRT, the National CERT of Indonesia, and involved with IDCRT for around 11 years. So in this session, I would like to share my thoughts and opinion regarding privacy and security challenge during pandemic. Since pandemic SARS coronavirus 2 was first reported in Wuhan, China on December 31 last year, we have been living in very different situation than we do ever before. We have been living in the situation such as invisible killer moving around us, lurking any chance to kill us. This coronavirus, the invisible killer, moves so fast and now already infected 58 million people and even took life of 1.4 million. Soon we will be living like this for 1 year, and the high spread ratio and number of the deaths caused by the pandemic bring damage not only to society but now to economy. And some countries already announced enter to economic recession. The pandemic have plunged the global economy into a severe contraction, into worst recession since World War II. These challenges force many governments, organizations, and individuals, including us, to embrace new practices, not only to exercise a lockdown and all action to control the spread and reduce the number of deaths, but also to use IT in helping the mitigation solutions. And we already know education and work must shift to online. We have new lifestyle and the work style now. Telemedicine has been introduced a long time ago, but now we understand more its important role. And some countries also launch trace and track applications to helping reduce contagions. but it needs some individual data to be successfully implemented, which bring us new problem of privacy. Okay, this is the case of Indonesia that also the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology launched an app, mobile app, it's called Peduli Lindungi, or Care and Protect, that already, I think, installed almost for 1 million users. And Indonesia nowadays quite a hike in the COVID-19 cases, so around 500,000 cases, and among that is 15,000 is dead people. So actually, the concerns about the privacy has been talked a lot even before a pandemic. As we enter the industrial 4.0 era where IoT is everywhere, we are connected and surrounded by many devices and applications that take many of our data. The questions, do we have privacy, often arose, especially after GDPR is implemented and people being informed about privacy violation, like what happened when Facebook and Cambridge Analytica case. And in security sides, privacy violations through data breach cases almost happen every day. If you see the cybersecurity statistic is scary. Cyber attack is continuously rising, even in this pandemic. There is a hacker attack every 39 seconds. And one trigger is because cybercrime is more profitable than the global illegal drug trade. The profit from illegal drug industry amounts to around $400 billion annually. For comparisons, cyber criminals have earned a total of around $600 billion in 2018. And from Breach Level Index report, its data breach case allows for a lot of records to be stolen. And hackers steals 75 records every second. As this figure just on us and update what be just data breaches and how many and a big privacy violation happened. For example, last year, the phone number of around 400 million Facebook accounts have been leaked. And several unprotected databases were discovered online that contain around 400 million records of Facebook users. The database were found on a server and had no password protection in place, which meant they were freely accessible to anyone with an internet connection. And among the databases were record of 133 million US-based Facebook users, 18 million UK-based users, and one with 50 million records on users in Vietnam. Okay, this is shown the security issues or threat landscape in Indonesia during pandemic. And we can see that during pandemic, we can see the vulnerabilities, the top 10 vulnerabilities, all related to the web application, and cyber attacks mainly focus on web applications. And the web development become the top cyber attack sector, especially for government and academy. And bot and darknet activities is increased. And around 90% of all malicious activities is bot and darknet. And this year also, during the pandemic, we have the biggest data breach and privacy violation case with like 90 million users' data. And we can think that this may also related to the vulnerabilities that sounds in the table the right side. And thinking about the privacy, especially as we are now in the emergency situations, and some people or countries think that the concern of privacy sometimes can be neglected because we are in the emergency situation. And those who concern a lot with their privacy will have more challenges in these situations. Okay, this is 3 big issues that I think force privacy concern often be neglected. First one is which one more important, your freedom or your life or people's life? Of course, we have to put people's life much more important than whatever included our privacy. And second thing is, of course, don't worry about your data. Your data will not be stored centralized. It will be kept in the device. And the third thing is that not all data is needed. Only a part that related to COVID infection will be needed. So this is the 3 concerns in the privacy issues. And as we don't know exactly till now when will the pandemic end, trace and track apps, for example, maybe still be needed, or maybe will be needed more and more than when the situation is getting worse. In this situation, we don't have a choice except to think the balanced strategy for not only enhance the role of IT in helping people not to be infected by COVID-19, but also protect their privacy. I think these 5 things can be considered important to make it balance between security and privacy, both in technical or managerial. First one, of course, is socialization. Self-awareness will bring more participation to the program launched by authorities. Educating employees and people through programmatic security awareness, training, and understanding all of the components of current attack surface, especially during pandemic, are key. Second one is priority. Putting priority and deciding what should be done in emergency time is important. We don't want to lose many lives because of late response and late to decide the important mitigation step. Just wonder to see to some countries where there are many cases that national security always put in top priority, even sometimes not directly affect the life of the people. But this pandemic already affect 58 million people and took life of 1.4 million. But you can see the response not as fast as expected. The third one is data retention. Also, this is mentioned also from Mr. Giacomo. This is to guarantee people that their data will not be used anymore and will be erased after the pandemic or even after their health is back in the normal. And fourth one is the use of AI in security operation and of course in track and trace app also. In security operation, for example, the AI can manage the vulnerability, can be done intelligently and reduce attack surface faster. And also when the incident happens, the detection can be done quickly and accurately. And in case of the trace and track app, the AI maybe can need it, so the app can be automatically known which one is personally identifiable information or which one is not when the apps get the data. So the users, feel safe. And last one, of course, is law enforcement. Properly enforce the law in case of breaches and leaks of personal data. So this is just an example of how countries in Europe enforce GDPR to privacy violation. The figure also shows countries with the most GDPR fines issued so far. The road amount of all GDPR fines issued so far is currently a little bit over 220 million euros. And this example will make all of those who manage personal data be very careful about implementing its protection. I think that's all from my presentation. Thank you very much. And I offer back to Professor Rabia. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rudy. Very interesting. So the audience, we already have 3 presenters, very interesting topic. From Brazil, share the applications of how actually they trace the application with security, right? And then from Japan, we do have how Japan react with all the phishing cases, cyber attacks and what's not. And then from Indonesia, well, the most interesting part is data retention. That's what's shared by Indonesia. But all of them share with us about the privacy and how to remain privacy and security of data during the pandemic. So let's look at the questions. Okay, we have one question from Libya CERT. The question goes to Ms. Yukako. Is the majority of attacks during the pandemic originated locally, or are they from abroad, and from where mostly? Yes, I pass to you, Yukako.
Thank you, Rabia, and thank you for Libya CERT for the question. I don't really have the exact statistics on the how many incidents actually come from which country, and like how many local and how many abroad. But actually, like when you look at the some of the phishing emails that leverage COVID-19 themes, we realize that some of them use the Japanese language, but not very well sometimes. So this indicates the fact that the attacker behind those phishing emails might be someone outside of Japan, but we cannot really tell where they come from. Maybe if you take a look at the every details of the language, or maybe the fonts or like the encoding programming, I think you could somehow find out who they are, who's behind. But we're not quite sure who are behind in each and every cases. So what I can say here is that some portion of the attacks, yes, they come from outside of Japan, but we're not sure or how many are coming from where. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Yeah. Any more question, Noraini? Right. I think we have come to the end. Thank you very much to all speakers. Very interesting topics discussed. And I pass over to Shamer. Thank you. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you again, Professor Dr. Rabia Ahmad from University Technical Malaysia Melaka. Okay, and then the panelists, Mr. Giacomo Piccolini from Team Cambry of Brazil. Okay, Yukako Uchida from AP-CERT, okay, based in Tokyo, and Dr. Rudy Lomanto from CERT Indonesia in Jakarta. So that concludes our session for today. Okay, we will have another same session tomorrow. Two sessions, two moderated session. Okay, one technical session which carries the title "Surviving in the Time of the Pandemic," and another management session called "Will Cybersecurity Ever Be the Same Again?" So we hope to see you tomorrow, okay, for another round. And until then, okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Team Cymru delivers no-cost threat monitoring to internet service providers and hosting providers who partner with us. ISPs and hosting providers around the world are critical to delivering online access and services. Your role on this planet is not just enabling social interaction and e-commerce. Collectively, you're enabling critical infrastructure and communications necessary for the health, safety, and even the survival of billions. However, many of you may lack the tools and resources to defend your networks. Nimbus Threat Monitor gives you near real-time threat detection, illuminating the compromised assets on your network and those of your clients by correlating your network flows with our world-class IP reputation data. Log in to the completely customizable Kibana interface to see your top alerts. Filter out low priorities. Drill down into specific threats, see your top talkers and what they're talking to, and monitor your alerts over time to measure response efficacy. Saving and improving lives is Team Cymru's mission, and making the internet a safer place is integral to that mission. Our intelligence powers many security vendors' offerings, and Fortune 500 companies rely on our intel. Take advantage of our peer signal threat detection today.
John, good afternoon. We're going to talk about AI and cybersecurity. Before we start, I think AI is a very misunderstood term. What does Huawei understand by the term artificial intelligence in a way that most people will understand?
Well, I think the best way to describe artificial intelligence is we've probably all seen films of robots moving their arms around and building cars. Predominantly, that's not artificial intelligence. That's a robot being programmed to say, move here, move here, move here. Artificial intelligence is where you're getting into the computers using vast amounts of historical data to begin to draw conclusions themselves.
In 2 weeks from now, many thousands of people will converge in Shanghai at Huawei Connect, the annual event. Cybersecurity is one of the key themes and one of the key programs within that agenda. What's the message for the world, and what do you hope to gain from that?
So we believe that, and I believe that technology and security is a team sport. Huawei has a very important role to play. We have to design and build and deploy products that have been built with security and privacy in mind. And we are very happy for our customers and regulators to hold us to account for that. We fear no investigation, we fear no certification, we fear no review. It doesn't mean we're perfect, but it does mean that we're probably the most open and transparent company in the world. So point number one, look what Huawei is doing, hold us to account, and if you think we can improve, tell us how we can improve, and we will look to adopt your idea. Secondly, because I've said it's a team sport, our customers and policymakers and governments, you need to look in the mirror yourself and say, what is our role?
John, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you.